Welcome to Quack Co, the board game channel where every video is 10 minutes or less guaranteed, and today we're asking the question that a lot of you have already and went and decided for yourself, which I think is completely reasonable, but already within the first 21 minutes, 3,500 of you have said you should in fact back the deluxe edition of the Castles of Burgundy by Awaken Realms, to the tune of $400,000 and counting literally every second, and I haven't even pledged yet. I will be. Let me go ahead and solve this question for you. I think this is a good back, but I do want to go through the campaign, talk about what they're adding, the modules that they have, dive into this with you, and I'm going to be honest, there are a few things that I don't like with what they're doing compared to the original version, things that I'd love to see adapted or changed. So, Castles of Burgundy. This is a well-respected, well-beloved game that is now being re-implemented or redesigned by Awaken Realms. And of course they'll have miniatures, but they also have redone and redesigned artwork, making one of the biggest barriers to entry, which is just how easy it is to read the board, way more approachable here on the table. Now, the Castles of Burgundy, which will have a gameplay coming out over on the main channel, is a game all about strategic dice placement, kind of worker placement, but with dice drafting, bringing tiles onto your board and then placing those tiles onto a grid, right? It's going to be a pattern-laying game where you're trying to expand your farm, score victory points through adjacency, through regions, through endgame scoring, through completing different pockets of land before or against other players. It's a really lovely Euro game, and like I said, you can see across the top here, highly, highly respected in the industry. This is Awaken Realms. Your pledge is safe with them. That's what they said on their campaign page, and I have no reason to question them. In this special edition, you can expect a complete redesign of the art layout to ensure that every piece will have great art, enhance the game and usability. Only the best materials, cardboard, card paper, blah, 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 will be used to provide the endurance and premium feel, which is accurate. They're basically saying we're just going to make it super shiny and you can put it all in your mouth if you'd like to. They've also prepared a lot of extra surprises they'll be unveiling during the course of the campaign. Prepare for a lot of cool extras, big and small. With this campaign, we want to take you on an incredible journey. And we're here on day one, right? Like, there's going to be more coming out. But I think it's a good back even now at day one, which means all the extras are just part of the adventure you could go on. Be a part of the journey. During and after the campaign, you'll have a direct impact on the game and see the whole process from the inside. I hope we can have a direct impact because there is one thing that I want to complain about. Get more at a great price. Here you're going to get cheaper than retail. Get it first, play it faster. They're promising that it's going to arrive to you before it hits retail. Which I think there's going to be a retail version of this and a deluxeified kind of game-found version of this. Keep that in mind. This is probably not going to be directly Kickstarter exclusive, but some elements of it I'm sure will be. They have some little expansion pack coming soon. Now, right now the pledge is going to be $95 for the special edition gameplay all-in. That includes some miniatures, and I think that price is bound to go up. Right? Already here, the Royal Pledge sun-dropped, all the fancy stuff, $142. And I would even venture to say that price is still bound to go up. So know what you're signing up for. It's just the case. We already have the upgraded hexes and tiles. You already have the playmat that you can add. Both of those seem like a good buy. However, if you're trying to cut pennies, I don't like playmats because they're hard to store and annoying to use. Playmat here might be very nice. Question is, do you ever use the ones that you already have? If not, why get another? Okay. Special edition. 16 castle miniatures. Castle miniatures are cool, but this is a game that's not actually about castles. I'm not sure why it's necessary, other than they're just neat to have, I suppose. I mean, sure, you place castles down, or maybe they're the adjacent castles you're trying to connect. I really don't quite understand why they're necessary. Double-layered player boards, though, are incredibly nice. Bigger hex tiles are nice. Metal coins are lovely. And high-quality dice are going to be fantastic. Your splendid property. So let's see here. Yeah, they have the castle being the center, the framework of the board. You can see it right here. And honestly, I think that's a little gratuitous. I don't know. If you're trying to cut corners, The castles really don't add direct value, in my opinion, to the game. They add a little bit to the experience, but this is not a game about castles. We'll have various different player boards. Of course, they're going to have open spaces, so they're going to have inserts for your dice, inserts for your goods, inserts for your hex tiles, which will be very nice. It looks like they're going to have a layered thing here. Yeah, a plastic transparent overlay that'll allow you to set and reset your grid, which is pretty nice. 56 duchy boards, 4 copies of every double-sided 28 duchy boards included in all existing expansions. That is very compelling. That is very nice. This will be the thing that changes the grid pattern for your playing board that'll now set down into it. I like the way that they're doing that, and just the variability in the playing surface is going to be fantastic. Now, we have a board redesign here, which is interesting. They've made the black market here a lot longer and thinner. They have clear spots, delineations for the outer rim. The goods market is going to be down the side here, and instead of a top bar, they've made it long ways. I don't hate this player board. I think aesthetically it looks fine. I don't think functionally it's going to make a giant difference in my experience of the game, but I'll be curious to see. Infrastructure. I would love to see these castles be slightly different, and I know the cost on that is, well, it's just added cost, right? Every castle you have to mold and frame and redo differently, just changes up the price, but part of the charm of this game is having your own little unique fiefdom, and this is not quite that. Now, one of the big complaints I have is that they have not done different artwork for each one of these different tiles. This is one of the things that I am looking for when it comes to the finished version of the campaign. I want, just like they have these brown buildings here, which all have different artwork like in the base game, I want different varied art for things like the farm animals. Make them a little bit more interesting than they are. But the yellow ones are my biggest complaint. These yellow buildings here, I would love to see them be different than the standard just stamp and play icon with the graphic down below. I like the graphics being on them. They look clearer than they were in the base game, but I would like to see a little bit more in terms of like aesthetic variability. Same thing with the mine here. Same thing with the boats here. I understand that the base game had a lot of these things be the same, but one of the things that for me, when it comes to the artwork in both Awakened Realms games and in a deluxeified version of a game, is just a little bit of variance here. Give me like 3 different boats, give me 3 different castles, give me a few different building types. I want to feel like the kingdom I'm building is alive, like that it looks compelling and majestic. Cloth bags are very nice for drawing up the hex tiles. That'll be easier than trying to flip them all upside down. I really appreciate that. I think that's going to add a lot of value. Honestly, I should just do that in the base game that I have already. The market artwork looks fantastic. The workers look very solid. I'm going to upgrade these tiles to plastic tiles if they have that as an option. It's going to include all existing expansions, which is amazing and wonderful. I want to thank them for that. It makes it so you don't have to stress about which things are not going to be modular or backwards compatible. They have a few different videos here advertising how the game works, and I'm sure they're going to have more things coming out. But that's the big thing for me. I mean, this is sort of a no-brainer if you love clean dice placement, tile laying, Euros. It's one of the best in the space, and they're doing everything right when it comes to incorporating stuff and deluxifying the system. The only thing that I would love to see is going to be that unique artwork, is going to be a differential when it comes to the aesthetic of the kingdom that I'm building. And then outside of that, my other biggest request or my other biggest concern would be, if you're buying into this, do not feel like you need the miniatures. The miniatures are nice. They're going to be very fancy. I'm sure they'll be worth more in the aftermarket, but if it's a question between getting the game and not getting the game, get the game classic pledge alone. Don't stress about the minis. And with that, I hope that answers the question. Should you back Castles of Burgundy? Let me know down below.